So Muhammad proclaimed his prophetic mission in Mecca. He was hoping that Jews and Christians will support him because they were, after all, brothers, monotheists. But they did not. In fact, in Mecca, Muhammad was not successful as a prophet. He was ridiculed, he was oppressed, and after his uncle died and after his wife died, Muhammad and his followers, a handful of his followers, decided to migrate to Medina. Medina was the second major cultural center in Arabia at the time. And Muhammad was invited to Medina to settle the dispute between several clans. So they migrated to Medina in the year 622 of the Christian era. This year, 622, is the most important year in the religion of Islam, because Islam traces its beginnings not to the birth of Muhammad, not to the year of the first revelation of Muhammad, but to this year of migration of the community from Mecca to Medina. So the year 622 in the Christian calendar equals the year 0 in the Muslim calendar. So when Muhammad and his followers came to Medina, they were received as a clan or tribe of the immigrants. And Muhammad was the chief of this tribe. So in Medina, Muhammad held a public position. And his responsibility was to make peace in the city. So the first thing he did was to write down, well, he probably, since he was illiterate, he would only recite and someone else would write it down. But the first thing he did was to create a constitution of Medina. Some scholars argue that this is the first ever written constitution in the history of humanity. You can Google it, Constitution of Medina, and you can read it. It's a very short document, really a couple of pages, but it has two very important reforms that Muhammad was undertaking. The first reform was that he granted to all of the people who live in Medina freedom of religion and freedom of conscience. So if you are a Christian, you can still be a Christian. If you are a Jew, you can still be a Jew, even if you are a pagan. And Muhammad thought that his mission was to eradicate paganism. But in the constitution, he granted freedom of religion to everyone. So that was the first and very progressive measure that Muhammad did. This is a misunderstanding that Islam is a fundamentalist religion that wants to eradicate Jews and Christians and wants obedience from everyone. From the beginning, Islam was actually more progressive than Christianity at times. And the second major reform that was proposed by Muhammad was about the so-called blood money. It was customary then if some people from one tribe accidentally kill a person from another tribe, that this second tribe would make a revenge, would kill someone from the first tribe. And according to Muhammad's reform, instead of killing a person, the tribe that was guilty of this accidental killing should pay the so-called blood money to the first tribe. And that's how this matter should be settled.